Hey, Francis Charles here with another comic review. The other day, somebody commented a question on this channel. Would it be a good place to start with Spawn? Now, my opinion is if the writing is good enough and the art is good enough, you should be able to jump in anywhere and have an enjoyable experience. But with a lore as long as Spawn, that may be a little bit more difficult. But with King Spawn, which is going alongside Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, and the Scorch right now. Number 39 is a great place to start. You don't need much backstory to enjoy this book because the action stands on its own. The writing stands on its own. They give you enough of the lore in the story to stand on its own. We start with familiar characters to longtime Spawn readers, Sam and Twitch, at a crime scene. These are our police detectives here who have their own spinoff right now that is so far outside of the current main run Spawn series. It's a great series, but that's not what we're talking about. So let's get back to this book. They're standing over the body of a young victim killed by the vampires, who are the only entities left that have superpowers because the Spawn and the Angels have lost their symbiotes, being that the dead zones that they used to travel between heaven and hell are open all over the earth. When they're in a dead zone, they don't have powers. The earth is covered by a dead zone, they're unpowered. And one thing that I've said in multiple reviews spanning Spawn and King Spawn is that in this new universe where, as for right now, they do not have powers, Al Simmons still has an advantage. Because before he was killed, he was a badass special forces soldier. And so it's logically and creatively, he has an advantage over his current foes in this situation because they're all not powered, but they're not all special forces. And I like that the writing is holding true to that, and that they are not rushing back in to solve the dead zone issue. I can't remember right now. I think we're close to 3. We have to be close to 360 right now in the Spawn main run, and the whole situation with the dead zone started in 350, and they're still not rectifying that. They're still getting fresh stories out of that plot point throughout all of the books that are in this current run. And so I'm enjoying that. And this book is another example of how Spawn uses his intelligence and training as well to survive. And one thing I want to talk about real quick, I actually did a whole another review on a different King Spawn book talking about the art of Yodere Senar. And man, oh man, does he bring it in this one as well. You know, we have these big full page panels of Spawn in action, and here, classic Spawn pose. In this whole run, I think that Yodere is quite possibly my favorite artist. The way that he draws action, and he makes it feel big. He makes it jump off the page. And the action is as much of the story as any of the words are. Something as simple as Al Simmons being loaded into the van after he's been caught. Spoiler, sorry. I say caught, and it's part of his deception. But even something as simple as him being gathered up and thrown into a van is beautiful. There is not a wasted stroke of paint in this whole book. They keep emphasizing how human he is right now. And Blood, the leader of the vampires, has sent a henchman out to capture him. And during the fight, the inner monologue is kind of weighing his mortality along with, his game plan in this fight. And it was clever what they did. I'm going to give away a little spoiler here. But the way he describes what he's doing is that he let himself get captured. And when they're in the back of the van transporting Al Simmons to the vampire, one of the other henchmen pulls the mask away, and that's not Al Simmons. And then we go down. We see the henchman. Looks an awful lot like Al Simmons, telling the henchman to quiet down. Without a single word, the art speaks volumes. If you are wanting to get into Spawn, don't feel intimidated. Don't feel like you have to have a lot of history to enjoy the books. A couple of good things about them, like I said, especially with King Spawn, you're not going to be disappointed with the art of Sinar. You're just not going to. Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn, is writing this, so you know that the writing is going to hold up. And most importantly, it's not really a big risk because all the Spawn titles are still $2.99 unless you get a special issue, which, when they bump up the price a little bit for a special issue, you get more pages, you get more story. So check it out, hop in, enjoy the ride, and I will see you guys next time. Until then, keep reading them books. I'm about to. You guys, please, thank you for watching. And if you do not have a local comic book store that you can get your King Spawn at, I always suggest my friend Jeff at Coffee and a Comic, where you can get great prices on comics and shipping. I have a subscription deal where I pay $23 a month, and I get weekly boxes sent out to me from California to Wyoming for one low price. And if you're in Huntington Beach, California, go check them out. They give you free coffee with every order. That's what I'm drinking on right now. Fresh ground goodness, keep you awake while you're reading them comics. You guys be easy.